Hello, it's Eddie Goodman again with KoolCats Tournaments and Tugging Jugs. I want to wish everybody a happy new year and wish everybody a great year in 2023. And I've been looking on the internet and sat there looking for ideas to take and talk to our group about. B&T Catfishing Adventures came out with a list back during Christmas, and they listed out the top things that you need to be looking at whenever you go start jug fishing. And I really like that idea, so I came up with a list that I think would help us with tugging jugs, that things are some of our new teams and stuff that shows up and want to take and do jug fishing. And it's the top 10 that I think that would really help out everybody to be aware of. First thing, number one, check your state and local laws. You know, at the beginning of the year, there could have been changes and stuff, so you need to look at their, either by the magazine, by online. They got all kinds of websites that has the Oklahoma laws and regulations on fishing, and you need to stay updated on it. Do not go by Joe Blow says this, and I think so, it could be maybe, that'll get you in trouble. Number two thing I want to talk to you about is the size of your jugs. I know whenever I started out, I ran down to the dollar store and I bought those pool noodles. They're not very big around. I cut them about 16 inches long, and I did catch fish and everything, and I did end up doubling them and trying to take and get more buoyancy to my jugs. But if you're going to take and do noodles and stuff, be sure to get the jumbo or mega or anything like that to take and make your jugs out of, because if a big fish gets on there and he pulls that down, and he pulls it down under the water and then gets one of those other hooks hung up down there, you're not going to be able to find that jug, and then possibly we could lose that fish and we would never catch him again. So keep that in mind, because we recommend that you use the stand-up jugs for tournament fishing, because they're easier to find, easier to keep track of. Hooks. Whenever I started out with J hooks, and I fished with those for a while, and then I slowly moved over to the true turn hooks, which I really did like those, and I fished with those for a long time. And then I slowly moved over into using circle hooks, which is a self-setting hook, and it really works out great on your jugs. So that'd be one thing that I would consider about switching over to, is your circle hooks on your jug lines. Number four, there's three parts of it. Water temperature, water depth. Are you drifting or anchoring? These are things that you need to be considerate about whenever you're looking at conditions, whenever you go out and you're setting out your jugs. Water temperature, water depth, drifting, and anchoring. Water temperature, you know, that plays a lot on where the fish is going to be at. You need to study up on that and to figure out where the fish is going to be and to place your jugs. Water depth, we all know that catfish are creatures of comfort just like humans, and they'd like to be in certain water depths and stuff where the temperature is really comfortable for them. Now if you're drifting, be sure to stay out with your jugs and make sure, because a catfish can pull that jug off a long ways in a heartbeat. If you're anchoring, just make sure that you got them good and anchored up. Bait. Everybody knows that what naturally is in your lake or body of water is the best baits that you can take and use for your catfishing or your jugs. And everybody has their own ways. But you know, I do buy my bait locally. I go down to the store here and I buy the Safe brand hot dogs, and I use those, and they just work great for me. So get your bait locally. A long-handled pole. Back whenever I was jug fishing, my granddaughter was helping, and she kept reaching out there to pick up the jugs by hand. And then one day she sat there and she reached out there a little bit too far. Her feet went up out the bottom, out of the boat. She went into the water. I think that was in September, so the water was already cooling down. So she really screamed a lot about that. Get you a long-handled pole with some kind of hook on it, so that way you can hook these jugs and bring them up closer to you and then get a hold of them. I know I recently made some changes on my jugs. I got a T on the top of mine, and I fixed up what they call like a dog snare or animal snare, and that got a cable on it, and I snare the top of my jug, and you got a little trigger that you pull to take and latch it and then bring it in. Really works out great, but it's up to you. Next thing I want to talk about is your nets. Make sure that you don't go down there with a little net that's made to catch trout in. Try to use it for jug fishing. You need a net that's large enough in the mouth of it and deep enough for the fish. So you take that and keep that in mind. Weights for your jugs. I know a lot of people some people drift fish and they use like 5 to 8 ounces of weight on theirs, so that way it will drift around. But in my research and stuff and my experiences, if you're going to anchor fish, I recommend something around about 2 to 5 pounds. It really works out great, and I've been using it for years. Now, we're going to talk about eaters, catfish that you want to take home to eat. Here at KoolCats Tournaments, we teach, if you want eaters, keep fish below 10 pounds. Anything 10 pounds and above goes back in the water to keep the genetics alive for the larger fish. That's what we recommend. Now, the last one, number 10, is a biggie. Be responsible. If you set out 10 jugs, make sure you bring back 10 jugs. If you lose a jug, spend the time, look for that jug, and make sure that you bring them all in. The number one killer of jug fishing sport is that people look at it and they see all these jugs and they think of the lake being trashed up by jug fishermen. But if you see a jug out there and you've been fishing the weekend and it's been sitting there and it's green from the moss and everything, pick it up, put it in your boat, dispose of it properly. Now, I know I do that a lot. I pick up jugs that people's left out there trying to clean up our image. Now, we want to turn jug fishing into a sport through Family Oriented Jug Fishing Tournaments. I'll get it right here in a minute. Family Oriented Tournaments. And to clean up our image, we need to take and practice this. Be responsible for what you got. Be responsible about disposing your baits and stuff like that, because everybody's always watching everybody. So I want to take and wish everybody a great 2023. I feel like this is going to be a good year for our tournament series, and we're really going to grow. So spread the word, talk to other people about what we're doing, get them to read the rules, and talk to them about looking at all the pictures we got on Facebook, and let's have a great year. And I want to see you out there at our next tournament. Have a great day. Hello, it's Eddie Goodman again with Catfish. Golly, I messed that one up. GoPro stop recording. Hello, it's Eddie Goodman again with KoolCats Tournaments and Tugging Jugs in 2023. I'm hoping everybody survived the New Year's resolutions and the New Year's parties and all that. I know I slept right through it, so I had a great time. I've been looking on the internet and stuff, and I've been playing around with looking at different sites and stuff, and looking for information about jug fishing. B&T Catfishing Adventures had a list out during Christmas about the top 10 things. Well, I think their list was like 8. The top 8 things that they had wanted to talk about. Oh man, I messed that up. GoPro, stop recording. Hello, it's Eddie Goodman again with KoolCats Tournaments and Tugging Jugs in 2023. Man, we are going to have a good year this year. This is... I forgot what I was going to say. Skip it. GoPro, stop recording.